Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Red Black here. If I sound a little quiet or a little off or something, I'm just starting to come down with something. I'm battling it back, so um, just gonna power through and get this video made. There's a lot of stuff I'm excited to talk about. So first things first, I want to talk about this. I researched this pack a little bit, right? Because I love this pack, but I haven't seen it show up on my main account in a while. So I just looked it up. It's called a special progress pack. What's it all about? How do I get this to show up more? And so basically, when you hit anytime you achieve a level with a 7 at the end, so 27, 37, 47, 57. Um, well, don't. Let me rewind a little bit. I don't know for sure that it happens at 27 or 37 or what the case is, but um, I'm about to come up on 87 on my main account, so I will be looking for that pack once I hit that level. So I had talked about this pack in my previous video. You may have missed it. And again, this is a free to play channel. I'm not spending any money on the account, but you got to recognize a good deal. Obviously, a good deal. It's a video game. These aren't real things. You don't own any of this. But regardless if you are a spender, low or high, this is a really good opportunity to get some sacreds for cheap. So, um, okay, now let's talk about some of the news that's coming out here, which I'm excited about. So, this weekend, which is expected, we are going to have ×2 on voids. I was asked in one of my comments, am I going to pull for voids? You're absolutely right. I'm going to pull for voids. Now, yes, I only have 5. Do I think I'm going to get a legendary out of those 5? Absolutely not. But here's why I am going to pull for those voids, or during the 2x on voids. It's the best chance I have to get a legendary, number one. Number two, there's a lot of good void epics out there. There's a lot of good void rares. I mean, well, I say a lot, but Cold Heart really is the one that I would want. So, any opportunity for me to pull, I'll tell you, on other accounts, on my main account, I used to pull voids during non 2x events just to get a Cold Heart. It took me a very long time. Hopefully, we can get her sooner than what it took me before. That would open up quite a few. That would pretty much solve two areas of the game that I'm still struggling in at the moment, which would be Fire Knight and Spider. Those would get me to stage 20 at least. Um, Not so much a solution for. I just need really good poisoners, maybe poison. Honestly, with Venom Age coming into the picture here, I might be able to get find some success on Iron Twins. So through Venom Age once they come online. Um, I did use all the extra books. I think I did that on camera. Really, once this is on a 3-turn cooldown is when I'm gonna start using Venom Age in Clan Boss. Until that time, I don't think it's the best idea. I don't think I should be putting Venom Age in over Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong's actually probably my biggest damage dealer right now in Clan Boss. And if I can't keep up that damage reduction, which is what I'm really looking for, honestly, from Venom Age, obviously poisons and poison activation is huge amount of damage. Like, that's what I want as well. But if I can bring in that extra damage reduction, it's going to get me further. And therefore get me more damage out of the champions that I have. So that's what I'm working towards moving forward. I've been getting a lot of gear on the account. I don't think I have any that's going to show up under just new at the moment. Oh no, yeah, you can see I've been farming a lot of dragon. I haven't gone through and sorted a lot of this gear. Uh, just just haven't done it. I don't really have a good enough reason why, but um, we are getting some good pieces here. So let's talk about that dragon tournament as well. Um, so that dragon tournament that I put, I I managed to get into first place on it, but then overnight dropped down to third place, which got us an extra ancient shard and some blue relentless gear. Love Relentless Gear. Always happy to get it. Even blue Relentless Gear can help you make one of those sets sometimes. So, all right, sorry, trying to get out of stuff here. So I will be pulling. I kind of went off on a tangent here, and I apologize. I will be pulling shards during the Void 2X event. I wanted to talk about that though. Here's the news thing. Okay, you can tell I am very slow right now. My body is working hard fighting against this, and it's not powering that brain right now. Okay, so tomorrow, Friday, is when the 2X will start. On Friday, there's a chance to get Caroline the Ringer. I'll show you them here in a second. But then also Georgia the Breaker on Saturday. The reason I'm pointing this out is because one of these champions may be better for your account than the other. Obviously, there's no guarantee that you're going to get a legendary at all. But if you are going to pull voids, it's best to do it on the day that has a 10x chance for the champion that you want of these two. There's no harm in waiting. You're still getting that 2x chance. So if you want Caroline the Ringer, or Georgia the Breaker, just make sure you're pulling on those days respectively. Now let's go take a look. I want to say Caroline. No, what was he? Was he Night Rev? Yeah. So Caroline the Ringer is a Night Rev. I was not familiar with this guy at all. I don't know. Did he come out with this most recent patch of kind of winter-based heroes? He may have. So, in AoE A1, 35% chance of decreasing enemy buffs by one turn. That's a pretty good ability on an AoE, decreasing buffs. Like, especially when you consider some of the waves. You know, imagine this is taking block debuffs off, taking unkillables off, that kind of stuff, right? AoE A2, this one has a chance of placing Hex and Weaken. It's 100% when booked. If they're under freeze, it does it for 3 turns. So that's very good if they're under crowd control effects. You can get a longer duration of the Hex and the Weaken. He does bring his own freeze. We'll talk about that here in a second. So there is some definite value to that. But let's take a moment here and talk about the Hex and the Weaken. This is great for Hydra. That's the first thing that comes to mind for me. It feels like he's a bit of a PvP champion, honestly, but this is really good for Hydra. Same with the A1. Any of the buffs that they have that are not protected, you're going to take those buffs off. We're talking Ally Protect, Reflect Damage, all those buffs, any buffs stolen by the head that seals. We're going to be talking about Hydra here soon. Give me some time. I'm going to make that video talking about Hydra. So I'm seeing a lot of Hydra capabilities out of this champion. On the A3, places a freeze. Now, right away, you may be thinking, well, that's not very Hydra, placing a freeze. Fully depletes the turn meters of all enemies that receive freeze debuffs from this skill. So when you're looking at wave content, he's freezing and then taking their turn meter completely away, which is going to make that freeze last longer. Just imagine for a second that all the wave are at full turn meter. Not only are they frozen, if you've ever frozen a champion that's at full turn meter, they basically just unfreeze right away because they take their turn and it goes away. In this scenario, you will freeze them and take their turn meter down, giving you more hits. Very, very good wave champion. Also good for PvP, right? And any crowd control abilities are great. You're going to freeze them and take their turn meter down. It's only going to do that on the champions that get frozen, but it does, say they have a really fast cleanser or something, and you freeze that cleanser, well, you're also depleting their turn meter, so there's value there. This part, though, I like a lot. Fills the turn meter of all allies by 10% for each freeze debuff attempt, blocked or resisted by the enemy team. So you're going to get turn meter fill out of it, too. In a PvP world, this is really, really like you could build him honestly with no or little accuracy and just do the turn meter fill because you're going to get 40% turn meter off of this if you build them fast, right? You could just give yourself turn meter. Who cares about the hex in the weekend? I'm not saying to do that. I'm just thinking outside the box, thinking of options that you have. For Hydra, same thing. None of these freezes are going to land, so you're just going to be giving turn meter to your team. Again, it would be 40% because there's 4 heads. So you would give your team 40% turn meter, which is a lot. It books down to a 3-turn cooldown. For me, and the way that I do Hydra, I could see myself putting Carolon in the lead position with not a great aura, but putting him in the lead position with a Shamil, giving him turn meter, and him then turning that turn meter into turn meter for my team. That's kind of what Nekmothar does, but he also brings a really good aura, which is one of the differences. So this is just things that I'm thinking about, kind of thinking out loud here. I did review the kit a little bit earlier today, but I thought that that was interesting. And then I didn't look at the passive to be earlier today. This is my first time seeing it. So allies will ignore 10% of the target's defense if the target is under freeze debuffs. If the freeze debuff was placed by this champion, allies will ignore 20% of the target defense instead. Amazing, amazing ability. Obviously, I had just mentioned a way you could build. I'm not saying you should. There's a way to build him without accuracy. If you built him with a ton of accuracy, this is a really great ability because not only will you be freezing the enemy team and stealing their turn meter, but you're also going to reduce their defense by 20%, allowing your nukers to hit even harder. Just really, really solid. Now, obviously, there are still things that complicate this, such as stone skin. That obviously, if they got stone skin up, you're not landing that buff. So, definitely not the complete the best. There are weaknesses to this, but some really, really good abilities here. So if you do think that Carolon would be the answer for you, then this is the one you want to pull on Friday. Then with the other one that we have is Georgia the Breaker. Now this is probably, in my eyes, the second best PvP champion in the game. I've gone over his kit on the channel before, but this is why right here. So, single target attack, it ignores strengthen, stone skin, unkillable, block damage, increased defense, ally protection, and shield buffs. But the big one is stone skin. Not a lot of champions can ignore stone skin. So let's say you're coming in there and you're seeing a Duchess in stone skin, a Python in stone skin. Georgia can just destroy them one shot because he hits like a truck. You blow them up, and I killed them. Well, now I get an extra turn, and then boom, attack all enemies. Which this also hits like a truck. So, 50% of this champion to ignore 50% of the target's defense from each hit placed by this champion's skills. I mean, he's just an incredible nuker. Definitely lives up to the hype as a Void legendary nuker. I would put him as the second best nuker in the game. Again, that's just my opinion. Void, by the way, if you are newer to the game and don't understand, Void is the best type because he can't weak hit anybody. Just an absolute monster. And to be able to break through Stone Skin, he's a direct counter to my best team on my main account, which uses a Stone Skin Mortu Macabre. He can just say, oh, well, whatever, that Mortu Macabre doesn't exist anymore. Let's go back to the rest of the fight. So really, really good. Also, these 30% chance of repeating the attack, these are usually really, really cool and really, really good. because it can happen multiple times. So it's not just like you hit once and there's a 30% chance you hit twice. You hit once, there's a 30% chance that you hit twice. Then there's a 30% chance on that hit that you hit 3 times, and so on and so forth. It a lot of RNG needs to go into it, but it can do a ton of damage. The first champion that comes to mind that has this ability is Fushan here. It's worded better on Georgid, but this is the same ability, and I know because Fushan is in my clan boss team, and I get a ton. He hits her about 100k on that team, and I just keep 100, 100, 100, 100. When he gets real lucky. So I do absolutely love those abilities. For me personally, I'm probably gonna pull for Georgid. While I do very, very much appreciate the value that Carolon brings, I'm going to say Carolon because it sounds like Carol, like Christmas Carol. Um, I think that Georgid would basically solve Arena for me at that point. Like, I don't think that as long as I can maintain a fast team, I'd be pretty much able to beat anybody that I come across in the game. So that's why I'm focused on Georgid. So I'll be pulling on Saturday. I'll be pulling my shards on Saturday. Don't wait until Sunday. And here's the thing: like, the reason I say that is because it's rare that they do 2x and a 10x at the same time. The odds may not be in your favor that you're going to get a legendary to pop, and you may get a legendary and it doesn't end up being the one that's on a 10x, but at the very least you want to increase your chances, because there are certainly some champions that you could pull that are void legendaries that might not be what you're looking for. Bellinor is a great champion, but when I pulled him on my account, I was not didn't have a need for him at the time that I got him. I was super excited to get Vitreous, but he didn't really pan out to be kind of what I was hoping for. So I'm just kind of looking through here. Because of where my account is, Gurgo was another one that was kind of late in my account, and it wasn't really worth building up. So generally, Void Legendaries are amazing. But there definitely are some Angar. Angar I got on... Now, he's supposed to be getting a buff, but I got him on one of my free-to-play accounts as the first... I got him on a double legendary during Void summons. I got him into Anarok during a double legendary on Voids. That was really, really cool because Tawanarok was so good, but I never did anything. Or no, not Angar. It wasn't Angar that I got on a 2x. I think I just got Tawanarok. I got Grohawk. I think it was Grohawk the Bloodied, right? Is that... It's the guy that looks like Angar. Yeah, Grohawk. I think it was Grohawk that I got. I thought I got somebody, maybe it was Angar. I remember getting them and being like, I don't really know how I'm going to use that champion, but it doesn't matter. That's beside the point. I just remember I got one of them. They looked the same. I think it was Grohawk though. And I think I just got Twanarok just on a random void pull. So I only have 5 shards. It's not going to be anything too special, but it's a chance to pull shards. Y'all know I love having chances to pull shards. Okay, so now let's talk about... Still got a couple minutes left. Let's talk about what I learned about Ray and what I'm gonna do with Ray. Now I haven't completely finished watching the video, but for those of you that don't know, there's another. I have to assume anybody watching me knows about other YouTubers. My favorite is Ash, Raid Shadow Legends, and he has champion guides on a channel that basically that's where I go when I have questions about a champion. It's like, let me go find out more about this champion. So I found out about Ray. I was dead on. She is gonna be my PvP nuker. Definitely gonna come in and get work done as far as AoE damage, replacing my Kale, and giving me a full PvP team between her, Sun Wukong, it'll be Deacon, and Ursula. So really, really excited about that, to have my full arena team at that point. Now moving forward, as far as when I'm going to build her and get her kind of leveled up and everything, I should have used my legendary book on her yesterday, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. It gives me more time to get more books and use her in the personal rewards clan v clan. Um, but I do still want to get my Frozen Banshee up first. I think once I get Frozen Banshee 60, I can get her in on Clan Boss as well and probably make some big changes on the account. I might actually kind of retire Kale at that point by maybe not retire, maybe that's the wrong word, but I might put Kale in a stun set and use him for faction wars basically in a stun set using his AoE and his random hit to try and land those stuns. So that's a thought that I'm having. I don't know that I'm 100% going to go through with it. Obviously, I could still use Kale as a nuker on one of my lower tier um, teams for a tag team arena. So I want to make sure that I'm, utilizing him there as well. So I just have to analyze my gear and make some decisions. I haven't had a lot of time. Anytime I have time off lately with the holidays, I've been spending a lot of it playing um, my main account just because of the Tormund, which I got. Tormund, I got him during the Clan v Clan. Um, so that's done. I can maybe take a break from that account and get refocused here on the free to play because I do want to get some, I feel like I haven't had any big changes on the account. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to get a legendary. Well, we got the legendary. We're no more. I'm done spending ancients outside of 2x events. It's not going to happen anymore. I don't care who they're offering. I got to play smart now. I was just trying to capitalize on what I thought was being very high towards Mercy. Now at this point, I need to buy a little notebook or something because we are at 0 Mercy on Ancients, and we can start recording it now. So maybe I'll save a file in the on my computer, a notepad file, and just track all the Ancients as we go. Just tracking my Mercy to help keep tabs on where we're at moving forward. So as far as Clan v Clan, we did end up losing. I'm very proud of my clan. I said this yesterday and I'll say it again now. I'm very proud of the performance that we put out. Everybody put in real big work. Now, my minimum for the clan is 30,000. I didn't change the minimum that you need to get in the game to get the rewards because I want people to be able to get that extra energy to build up from that 20,000 to 30,000 point. So, and you can see one person did not achieve that, so they got removed from the clan, unfortunately. So, but overall, really proud of the performance of my team. Now, this is a little misleading. I did pull a legendary, so that's 30,000 points. So really, I only got 39,000 points plus my other 30,000 points. So, but still, really happy kind of with the performance all around. You'll see my main account kicked butt. That's because I got Tormund is a big part of that. That account also gets more books and more resources because I'm doing Ultra Nightmare and everything and bigger Hydra, bigger levels of faction wars, all those things. I also did a ton of forging. I forged until I couldn't stay up anymore and I had to go to sleep. So, yeah, it was despite the loss, it was a successful Clan v Clan. We also got legendary rings this time. I don't know if anybody caught that. These are not usually legendaries. So that's really good for my account, especially because rings are pretty much always keepable unless they roll bad. So if we look at this legendary ring HP, like you'd love to see HP in the substats. I would still keep this ring though because of the Blood Shield ring. If you remember, this is a great ring to put on champions that you're trying to use to beat Scarab boss, because this will mean anytime that they attack, they have their shield up and they won't get taunt chained, which is really really good. For the demon spawn defense, so you really want the main stat to be defense here, which obviously it's not, but again, same thing, you want to keep that because of the shield, so that if you are doing, especially given the current Cursed City meta, when you're going up against Scarab boss in the Cursed City, you want to make sure you have those rings to put on the champions that you're going to send in there. To that way you don't have to bring as much. If you don't have a shielder to bring, then you can just use the rings to kind of cheese that, right? So those rings are really really valuable, and I've capitalized on those for a long time with a lot of my champions. So until I was able to get like really good shield champions. All right, we'll do Brutal here real quick. So I've done my 3 keys in Nightmare today. You'll see we're at the 52.99 million on Brutal. We'll do the Quick Battle. I think this is a bad matchup for me, so I'm going to say 20 million. Ooh, that's really bad luck. So 15.2 million there. Definitely not enough to get that max chest, but that's okay. We'll take the master chest. It's extra resources nonetheless. So, all right. I don't think I have anything else, and we're getting pretty close to time here. So, I just wanted to... Oh, I did want to talk about the past. This is a really good set. I highly recommend that if you are capable of doing so, that you guys are going for this Forge Pass. I've been slacking a little bit. So, what is it? Yeah, it's... I don't know how far we'll get. Really, realistically, like, I won't be happy unless I can get all the way to the end, because it's the only way I can get the legendary pieces of it without spending money, obviously, because we're not putting any money into the pass on this account. So it's... I hope I still have time to get down here, because it is a good set and I would love to get legendary pieces of it. I just don't know that that's going to be achievable, since I don't know what challenges I've missed and how big that gap is. So we may start now and then get till the end and then find out, oh, okay, yeah, we're not there. So we just gotta keep working at it. And that's pretty much everything I've got, guys. So thank you for watching. Let me take a look. I haven't looked yet today. We are at 475 subscribers, so we have 25 left to go for our initial goal of 500. If you enjoy my content, please feel free to subscribe. It is going to help me kind of get different accomplishments on the channel, so that I can start opening up some monetization options, not all of them. That one would be 1,000, but I will then also start streaming on YouTube instead of on Twitch, because I do think I've got better discoverability on there. I do want to set up in the new year, I want to set up a stream schedule. Right now I've been kind of lax about it. It may not even be Raid Shadow Legends that I stream. I may just stream random games. I haven't been playing much of anything. I haven't been playing Overwatch. It's the holidays. A lot of you know how that is. Spending time with family, doing shopping, just enjoying the time that I do get to myself after my family goes to bed. So, but yeah, well, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video.